This is an audiobook created by Subconscious Key Studio. Take a breath, just one, and in the space between your inhalation and your exhalation, listen. Listen to the silence underneath the noise of your world. It is in that silence that you felt it, haven't you? That subtle, persistent whisper. It appears in the quiet moment after you lock your phone at night, the blue light fading from your vision. It echoes in the space after a laugh in an empty room. It descends in the middle of a crowded party, a sudden, chilling isolation amidst the warmth of other bodies. It is a whisper from a place deep within you, a place older than your name, and it says, this is not all there is. This busyness, this worry, this performance, this is not the truest thing about you. This whisper, this nagging sense of a reality just beyond your fingertips, is the beginning of our story. It is the first hairline crack in the solid, seemingly immovable wall of your cave. 2,000 years ago, the philosopher Plato asked us to imagine a cave. Not a cave of adventure, but a prison. A deep, subterranean chamber where people were chained from birth, their bodies and heads immobilized, forced to stare only at a blank wall in front of them. Behind them, a great fire blazed. Between the fire and the prisoners, a path wound its way, and along this path, puppeteers carried statues of men and animals, casting flickering, dancing shadows on the wall. For these prisoners, reality was nothing but these shadows. The echoes of their own voices bouncing off the wall were the truth of the world. They named the shadows, they predicted their sequences. They built their entire understanding of existence upon this play of light and darkness. Now come back to our time, to your life. Your cave is not made of cold, damp stone. It is made of screens that glow with perpetual day, of algorithms that learn your fears and your desires, feeding you a reality tailored just for you. The walls of your cave are the curated highlights of other lives, the vacations, the promotions, the perfect families that you mistake for your own failing reality. The shadows on your wall are the relentless, churning news cycles, the political outrage designed to hook your nervous system, the pursuit of the perfect body in the mirror, the perfect career on a LinkedIn profile, the perfect life in a holiday photo album. The identities you cling to so fiercely. I am a success. I am a failure. I am a parent. I am an artist. I am a victim. I am a savior. These are the puppets, the statues, casting the shadows. And we, chained by habit, by fear, by the sheer, comfortable, heavy familiarity of it all, we sit and we watch. We mistake the noise for the symphony. We mistake the profile for the person. We are haunted by a feeling that we are missing the main event while staring, transfixed at the previews. But that whisper, that crack of light, it has a force. It calls one of us, perhaps it is calling you, to begin the painful, disorienting, courageous work of turning your head. To turn away from the wall, to strain against the chains of habit, to see, for the first time, the fire. To see the mechanisms of the illusion, the glowing rectangle in your hand, the constant internal commentary, the stories you've never questioned. And this turning, this is the beginning of what the mystics, in their profound wisdom, named the dark night of the soul. This is the start of your journey from the cave into the terrifying and fertile night and toward your one true, inevitable dawn. So what is this dark night? Let us be clear from the very start. Let us name it, examine it from all sides, so it loses its power to terrify, to isolate. For what we cannot name has power over us. What we can name, we can begin to face. In the 16th century, a Spanish mystic, St. John of the Cross, found the words for this profound spiritual crisis. He was himself a prisoner, locked in a tiny, dark cell by his own religious order, physically confined and starved of light. And it was in that very physical darkness that he penned his stunning poetry on the soul's journey to union with the divine. He described a night, a noche oscura, a dark night through which the soul must willingly pass to be purified, to be stripped of its attachments to every single thing that is not God, so it can emerge free and clear into the unending light of union. But here now we must make the most crucial, the most compassionate distinction of your entire journey. You must feel this in your bones. The dark night of the soul is not clinical depression. Let me say that again, with all the emphasis I can muster. This profound spiritual crisis is not the same as the biochemical, psychological, and deeply painful condition of clinical depression. To confuse the two is to risk applying the wrong medicine. A doctor does not treat a broken arm with heart medicine. We must be precise. How, then, can you begin to tell the difference? It is not always easy, for they can look similar on the surface. The tears, the fatigue, the despair. But the difference lies in the direction, in a hidden, almost imperceptible current flowing deep beneath the stagnant surface waters. It is a difference in the quality of the emptiness. Depression often feels, to those who endure its terrible weight, like a closing down, a numbing, a heavy gray fog that smothers desire, that makes the colors of life fade to monochrome, that makes the world feel muffled, distant, and utterly without promise. The desire for life itself can flicker and grow dangerously faint. It is a profound and real illness of the mind and body, and it requires compassion, understanding, community, and very often professional medical and therapeutic help. It is a call to heal the psyche. The dark night is something else entirely. It is not a closing down, but a painful, excruciating, and radical opening up. There is not an absence of desire, but a fierce, acute, and often agonizing longing. A longing for God, for the divine, for source, for meaning, for a home you can't quite name or remember, but whose absence you feel like a physical ache in your chest. You call out from the depths of your being, and you are met with what feels like a vast, cosmic, indifferent silence. You feel abandoned by the very force that you believed gave life its meaning. You feel spiritually alone in a way you have never felt before, as if you are the only soul in a cold, unfeeling universe. And your spiritual practices, the things that once connected you, that filled you with light and purpose, your prayer, your meditation, your yoga, your service, your art, they suddenly feel dry, brittle, empty, like chewing on sand, like speaking into a void. You go through the motions, you sit on the cushion, you kneel in the pew, but the well is dry. There is no resonance, no feeling, no connection. This is the spiritual dryness. The mystics spoke of a drought of the soul. And yet, and this is the key, the golden thread you must follow. There is a strange, undeniable, magnetic pull. A force even in the midst of the terror, even in the heart of the emptiness, that tells you, whispers to you, that you must continue. You simply cannot go back to the shadows on the wall. The cave has lost all its meaning for you. The games, the achievements, the distractions, they now feel like toys for a child you have outgrown. Something, someone, some deeper intelligence within you is calling you forward, through the darkness, not out of it. You are not numb to life. You are acutely, painfully alive to a sacred absence. And that very pain is a searing testament to your soul's immense, unfulfilled capacity for a connection, so vast you cannot yet comprehend it. This is the hallmark of the night, the feeling of divine abandonment, yes, the spiritual dryness, absolutely. But underneath it all, a stubborn, inexplicable, and relentless pull into the unknown. If you are in this place, hear me now, you are not broken. You are not being punished. You are not a failure on the spiritual path. You are, in fact, right on schedule. You are being prepared for a greatness you cannot yet imagine. Let me now give this night a human face. Let me give it breath and heartbeat. Let me tell you 3 stories. They are not real names, but they are woven from the threads of real journeys. Listen not just with your ears, but with your heart, and see if you can find a piece of your own story reflected here, a familiar shape in their shadows. First, meet Alexander. For 2 decades, Alexander's cave was the gleaming, glass and steel world of high finance. His shadows were flickering stock tickers, dense quarterly reports, and the respectful nod of his peers in a boardroom. He was a master of his cave. He knew every shadow, could predict every market move, could speak the language of money and power with native fluency. The night began for him not with a crash, but with a summit. He closed the biggest deal of his career, a transaction so large it was written about in the papers. He stood at the absolute pinnacle of his mountain and felt nothing. A vast, echoing, hollow nothing. That night, the silence in his multi-million-dollar penthouse was louder and more oppressive than any trading floor had ever been. The dryness set in, the thrill of the win, the adrenaline of the chase was gone, leaving only a metallic taste of ashes. And the strange pull. It manifested as a quiet, nonsensical compulsion. Every morning he would get up, make his espresso, and then sit in his expensive leather chair doing nothing, just staring out the massive window at the city for 10, then 20, then 30 minutes. It felt pointless, empty, a waste of precious time. And yet, it was the only thing in his entire day that felt even remotely, authentically real. Then there is Clara, an artist, a painter. Her cave was her identity as the brilliant, tortured creative. Her shadows were the accolades at gallery openings, the sting of a bad critique, the intoxicating drama of the art world. The night for her did not begin as a creative block, but as a disappearance. The vibrant, flowing well of her imagination, which had always felt like a birthright, was now a dry, dusty hole. She would stand before a vast, pristine white canvas and feel nothing but a profound sense of being a fraud, an imposter who had been fooling everyone for years. She felt utterly abandoned by her muse, by the very force that had given her life color and meaning. The dryness was absolute, a Sahara in her soul. And the strange pull, it was a pull away from the masterpiece, away from the gallery, and into a small, private, moleskin sketchbook she hid in her drawer. She began to draw awkward, ugly, honest things. A wilting plant, her own tired eyes in the mirror. Drawings with no technique, no style, no thought of an audience. It was art for no one, for no reason, and in the profound emptiness of that act, she found her only fragile tether to something true. And finally, David, a father, a husband. His cave was his family home, his role as the provider, the rock, the dependable one who fixed things. His shadows were school schedules pinned to the fridge, mortgage statements, the quiet, proud warmth of a well-kept home on a quiet street. The night for him began when his last child packed a car and left for college. The house, once filled with the beautiful chaos of slammed doors, loud music, and shouted conversations, was now clean and orderly and terribly, terribly empty. The purpose that had driven him, given structure to his days and meaning to his sacrifices for 20 years, was gone. He felt obsolete, useless. He felt a profound dryness in his relationship with his wife. They were two polite strangers sharing a space who had forgotten how to speak without the children as intermediaries. And the strange pull, it was a pull to grieve, to not fill the space, but to sit in it, to go into his son's empty room, sit on the neatly made bed, and just weep. Not for his son, who was thriving, but for a version of himself that was gone, a version that had known his place in the world, a version that was now dissolving. 3 different caves. The cave of success and status, the cave of creative identity, the cave of family and role, one same universal alchemical night. In each of them, the ego, the successful man, the brilliant artist, the indispensable parent, was being systematically, lovingly dismantled. This is not a random punishment from a cruel universe. It is a necessary, sacred, and alchemical process. The self that was must die so that the self that is can be born. So we arrive at the great pressing question. What is the purpose of this painful, alchemical dissolution? Why must we walk through this terrifying night? Why can't enlightenment be gentle, easy, a gradual sunrise? The answer lies in the nature of transformation itself. Think for a moment of a caterpillar. For its entire life, it knows one reality: crawl, eat the leaf, crawl, eat the leaf. It is perfectly, wonderfully adapted to its world. It is a consummate caterpillar. Then, driven by a deep biological imperative, it does something strange. It spins a chrysalis around itself. And inside that still, dark chamber, a biological miracle occurs. The caterpillar does not simply grow wings and legs. It dissolves. Its body literally turns into a liquid, a nutrient-rich soup of its former self. From the perspective of the caterpillar, this is death. Absolute, total, terrifying, messy death. The end of everything it has ever known. But within that liquid soup are specialized cells called imaginal cells. They carry the latent blueprint, the divine code for the butterfly. At first, the caterpillar's immune system, loyal to the old form, attacks these imaginal cells as foreign invaders, as threats to its very existence. But the imaginal cells are persistent. They keep coming. They start to connect, to communicate, forming clusters, then structures. Eventually, they overwhelm the old defensive system, and from the liquid that was the caterpillar, a completely new organism assembles itself. A butterfly, a creature of air and light who drinks nectar from flowers, who sees in ultraviolet, who could never even comprehend its former life of crawling on a leaf. The dark night, my friend, is your chrysalis, your old self, the self that was perfectly adapted to life in the cave, the caterpillar self that knew how to crawl and consume shadows, is dissolving. It is messy. It is dark. It feels in every fiber of your being like a death. The pain, the fear, the resistance you feel, that is the pain of that dissolution. It is the ego, the former identity, the caterpillar's immune system, fighting for its life, attacking these new imaginal cells of your soul, these new whispers of freedom, these gentle intimations of peace, these moments of a love that isn't earned but simply is. This is precisely why your old ways of connecting no longer work. Your prayers feel dry because you are trying to speak the limited language of the caterpillar to a reality that can only be perceived by the butterfly. You are being weaned off a small, manageable, conceptual God so you can directly perceive the infinite, unknowable, and immanent one. You are being stripped of a small, constructed self so you can remember your vast, eternal, and true self. This is the steep, arduous journey out of the cave. The sunlight of true reality is so brilliant, so total that it is, at first, utterly blinding. So, how do you navigate this? How do you walk this path without losing your mind, your heart, your way? You don't need a detailed map, for this territory is uniquely, sacredly your own. But you do need a traveler's kit, a few simple, essential tools to hold on to when the night is at its darkest. First, and this is the most difficult and most important practice, surrender. You cannot fight the night. You cannot win a battle with darkness. Struggle only exhausts you, depletes your resources, and deepens your despair. Instead, try letting go. Fall back into the arms of the darkness. Trust that it holds you, even if you cannot feel its embrace. In your meditation, in your moments of panic, simply say, I don't know, I cannot see, I surrender this to you. This is not defeat. It is the ultimate, most profound act of faith. Second, practice radical, unreasonable self-compassion. The voice in your head may be screaming that you are a failure, that you are doing this wrong, that you are weak. You must learn to answer that voice not with argument, but with kindness. Speak to yourself as you would speak to a dear, dear friend who is in the depths of profound grief. Would you tell them to snap out of it? Would you call them a failure? No. You would sit with them in silence. You would make them a cup of tea and place it in their hands. You would simply say, this is so hard, I am here with you. Offer that same gentle, unwavering, unreasonable kindness to the part of you that is dying. It is scared. It deserves love. Third, anchor yourself in your senses. The body is your lifeboat in this storm, your anchor to the real world outside the cave of your mind. When the mind is a tornado of fear and emptiness, get out of your head and into your body. Go for a walk without headphones. Feel the wind on your skin. Is it cold? Is it warm? Really look at a single tree. See the texture of its bark, the intricate patterns of its leaves, the way it moves. Taste a strawberry slowly, letting the sweetness fill your mouth. The body does not know the past or the future. It lives in the eternal, present moment, and it can lead you back there, one sensation at a time. Fourth, find your witness. You do not have to do this alone. The ego thrives in isolation. The soul flourishes in connection. Find one person, just one, who can sit with you in your darkness without trying to fix you. Someone who doesn't offer platitudes like everything happens for a reason or just think positive, but who can simply sit in the mystery with you and say, I see you. This is hard. I am here. This person is a beacon of immense power in the dark. Their silent presence is a testament to the love that persists even when you cannot feel it yourself. And then one morning you will notice it. You will wake up and the crushing weight on your chest will feel just a little lighter. The pain will have softened. Not gone, but softened, like a sharp stone worn smooth by a patient, persistent river. You will find a moment of quiet, unforced, unexpected joy in the simple warmth of a cup of tea. The silence, which once felt so empty and accusing, will now feel peaceful, spacious, like a clean, open room. This is the dawn. It does not come with a trumpet blast, with a dramatic flash of light. It arrives subtly, gently, lightening the sky from inky black to deep blue to the soft, hopeful gold of morning. The sense of peace, of authenticity, of unshakable belonging that you find on the other side is not a new achievement you have earned through your suffering. It is not a prize for making it through the night. It is the you that was always there, once hidden by the shadows of the cave, now revealed by the sun. It was buried under the layers of who you thought you were supposed to be. And when you have seen the sun, when you have felt its warmth on your new wings, you will understand that you have a responsibility. Plato's Allegory does not end with the enlightened one basking in the sunlight. It ends with their return to the cave to help free the others, to share the news of the real world. Your journey through the night is not just for you. It is for all of us. It is for your family, your community, the world. When you return to the world, you will do so with softer eyes, a more compassionate heart, and a truer, quieter voice. You will no longer be a prisoner of the shadows, but a guide, a bearer of the dawn, a living testament that the night, however long and dark, always gives way to the day. Your story is not ending here in the light. It is just beginning.